Hi there. Just wanted to catch you up really quick and let you know this is video 2 of a 2-part product review. If you missed part 1, I'm going to drop a link to that video in the description below, so that way you guys can all be on the same page with us. Hope you enjoy.
So here is the setup. I've put each of them individually on a towel. That way if one of them leaks, I will know which one is leaking. The first one is just set on high, and it is full of water, and it's cool. It's not too much different than what I would expect a fan to be running in the temperature that I have in the house right now. This one is on high and full of water, and I'm not gonna lie, it is actually pretty cool. I mean, standing here comparatively, this is definitely a lot cooler than this one. This one is on normal temperature water cycle. I wanted to get that filter wet, and it is already completely soaked through. It's been on for about 5 minutes and with the water cycle running, and I just wanted to get that filter wet and make sure that that part was working, because when you have it on refrigeration, there is no water cycling. That is the status of where we are. I'm actually going to run these just set up as they are with no changes for the remainder of the evening. I'm going to go to bed, and I will check back in the morning and let you know how things went. Hey, good morning. So quick status on the fans. They ran for about 9 hours or so last night. Got up this morning, no leaks, nothing was making weird noises. Everything was good. My coffee is waiting for me. Hold on. Important things, you know. I have filled them with ice water, 2 of which I was able to actually put ice cubes in. The large one, I poured 1 cold bottle of water in, and I've turned them back on to the same settings that I had them on last night, which is basically just a fan cycling cold water through a filter and sending it out through a vent. The Wyland is the one that takes only cold water, no ice cubes. You cannot get ice cubes in there. Right now, I still have it on normal cycle and water cycle without the quote-unquote refrigeration feature turned on. The one thing to note is that all 3 filters were dry this morning when I opened them up. So at some point during the running in the night, they ran out of water. So that is something to keep in mind. One thing I do still like about it is it's very cold, and you can get quite a bit of ice in there. It's been running for about 30 minutes. I did put tap water in, so obviously the ice is going to melt faster, but the water is very cold. I'm not going to say that it's much colder than it was without the ice, but I mean, I don't have a temp gun. That's something I wish I had. This one is very comparable now to this one. It was a little bit warmer last night, but it's very comparable now. You can only get about 2 to 3 ice cubes because you have to pull the filter out, put them in the bottom, and then get the filter back in. So I had originally put 4 ice cubes in. I had to pull 1 out and move them around so that I could get the filter back in. So that is where we stand this morning. The next will be to see how long they run on the ice water, and then this one I will flip over to refrigeration mode and see what that does. Okay, so option number 1 is the Inclin, and it is, I'm gonna guess, about 95 degrees in the van right now. It's actually not super hot, but I would suspect that once I get everything insulated and all of that, this will be the kind of stifling air that I'll have to work with. And then on the super hot days, obviously it'll be worse. This is no better than just having a fan unless you put it right by your face. This would not, I mean, I don't see this making a huge impact. There is about half a tank of water in here left. I'm gonna let this run in here for about an hour, and then I'll switch it out and do the next one. With the Inclin fan, I am at the half-hour mark, and it is actually just blowing hot air at this point. I'm going to add some ice to it and see if that helps and let it run for another half hour. All right, the hour has passed for the Inclin test, and no change in the van whatsoever. It is just as hot in here as it is in the front, and so unfortunately for an interior application in a home, if you want just some cool air circulating with a humidifier aspect, it could be a good fit, but you're not going to get the air pressure, you're not going to get the airflow, and you're definitely not going to get the cooling that you want, and definitely not going to get cooling in a situation where the ambient temperature is above 75 degrees. So with the Inclin filter frozen, I have turned this back on. One of the recommendations online was to freeze the filters. And again, the Inclin filter is very hard to insert and remove, which I literally had to pound on top of the filter to get it to go in. So that concerns me that the longevity of this machine is not going to be great because it's plastic and it's going to fall apart just because of inserting and removing the filter. So if freezing the filter is the only way that this unit is going to work correctly, I don't think it's going to last very long. The air is cold. The airflow is very, very light, and so on high, you can barely feel any air coming out when you are 2 feet away from the unit. Outside temperature 85 degrees, and in here it's probably up to 95, getting close to 100 degrees inside the van. The Arctic Air is the next fan being tested. One of the things I like about this is that it does blow really hard on high, so that is definitely a bonus. As of right now, it is filled with tap water, and the air is cooler than the surrounding air, but it is not cold. So we're going to test this one for a half hour with tap water, a half hour with ice water, and I'll let you know how it goes. Arctic Air test. I'm a little bit bummed. It has been a half hour, and I came out and realized that the vents were closed on this one. Just an oversight on my part. It was actually the air blowing through with the vents closed is actually very cool, but that doesn't do me any good. The airflow coming from the ambient temperature of the air, flowing through the wet filter from the outside is still only, I'm gonna guess, maybe 5 degrees cooler than the surrounding air. So we're not talking about a huge difference. So now I'm going to add ice water and let it go another 30 minutes, making sure the vents are open, and then I'll report back on this one. All right, it's been a half hour with ice water in the Arctic Air, and it actually still has quite a bit of water in it. It is very cold water, but I'm sad to report that the air that is blowing out of the cooler is very warm. I'm a little bummed. I actually had high hopes, but it's just, there's just no way. So I have my last option, which is the Wyland, which is the large unit that was close to $100. It was $98. I'm going to, same process. We'll do tap water, and we'll do cold water. There is one extra step that I will have to do with the Wyland, which is it has a refrigeration feature. I didn't really notice a difference in that inside the home, but maybe with the air being warmer, there's something that's happening with that setting that will make a difference. So this next test will take an hour and a half, and then that will be the end of the testing. So wish me luck. All right, it's been 30 minutes with the Wyland cooler on refrigeration in the van. This is the first of 3 tests that I will do with it. So I'm nervous. I think it might actually be hotter in here than it was when I left. Yeah, so this is on, sorry, probably got a shot up my nose there. This is on refrigeration, and it appears to be cycling water through the filter, which I don't really know how is different than it being on normal temperature with water cycle. I don't know, maybe the intent is that it's actually cooler on refrigeration. The humidity went way up in here with this going. Not surprisingly, it is a humidifier, so there should be no surprise there. So I guess in some ways that's promising that the humidifier works. But as far as temperature control, it's actually hotter in here than it was when we started. So I'll be totally honest, I don't think I'm gonna do the other 2 tests with this. If on refrigeration is not cooling the van off even a smidge and it's actually raising the temperature, I really don't see the point in wasting my time or electricity to continue testing. So I'm going to call it an unsuccessful 3 product test. Unfortunately, I'm really bummed. I was hoping that one of them would at least decrease the temperature in here by a couple of degrees, but nothing. And so this was my attempt at an affordable solution, a easy solution, an extremely low power solution for cooling the van off, just to make it a little bit more comfortable, mainly for sleeping. But these are a bust, so really hate it, but it is what it is. So now packaging them back up and returning them is the next step. So thanks for watching along with me. I will keep you posted on the next few things that are coming up. I'll do a separate video soon about van design and project plan and just kind of everything that's coming up in the next 6 weeks or so. So thanks guys. As always, love you and thank you for supporting me. Have a great week.